see, which car? I'm looking for Ford. Nope, not that one. That's the one. Good afternoon, or evening, or well, it's getting there, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. I have got to go pull in the recycling bin, and I thought you guys might want to go with me. More importantly, I'm sure you guys noticed I grabbed some Ford keys, some broken Ford keys. That is because you guys all seem to love my video of what was broken on the Corvette, so I figured, of course you guys are going to love to know what's broken on the F-150. Why not? It is kind of funny though that, you know, Ford likes to recycle parts, and so the keys to that 06 GT were the same key fob as this F-150. Anyway, so this truck, I bought it back in 2012 after I got a job in the oil field down in South Texas, and I needed a truck. The Corvette wouldn't drive in those roads down there, so I got this guy. It had 72,000 miles when I bought it. I bought it for $26,000. It's 2009. It's the first year of this body style. It is a four-wheel drive. It is a King Ranch. It is literally loaded. It has, I think, every option that was available back in 2009. Had a sticker price of around $50,000, $49,000, something like that. But here we are, many years later. Almost 7 years ago is when I bought this, and I still have it. I don't drive it every day anymore. Haven't been since I bought the Volvo almost a year ago, but I still have it, and I don't really want to sell it. Not because I love it so much, but because there are times where I occasionally need a truck, and there are times where I occasionally just want to drive a truck. And it's nice to have it. It's paid off. It's not completely broken down yet. I mean, the worst thing it does is just take up a spot here in the driveway, but it is what it is. So I figured I'd show you guys all the things that are broken on this car as well, so you can get a good idea of how broken my two broken cars are. So let's check it out. So you guys probably noticed that the key fob worked, even though it's duct tape. That's just because the back of it's broken, but it works. I have another key fob that's not duct tape. But anyway, we're gonna get in and we are going to start it up. So in its 2009 F-150 King Ranch goodness, it's got some beautiful leather. Actually, you know what? I'm being sarcastic, but I actually really love these seats. Well, hold on. I love the leather on the seats. I actually don't love the seats themselves. I'll talk about that in a second. But let's fire up. Yes! Starts. All right. Hey, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, crap. Well, okay. Damn it. Spoiled my surprise there. There's thing wrong number one. This actually just started. Hold on, let me turn the air off. This actually just started about a couple weeks ago. Really, the last time I drove it, I hauled some brush to the place where I dump brush, and we were doing it all day. We made like 3 trips. Halfway through the last trip, luckily it was the last trip, this guy came on. Check brake system. And then it also tells me that I have and then the ABS light's on, and the parking brake light is on, even though the parking brake's not on. It also tells me every now and then that the traction control little guy over here is squirrely. So I don't know if that means my traction control is messed up too. I don't know. There it is right there. So I don't know what that actually is yet. It just happened a couple of weeks ago. I haven't had a chance to take it anywhere to get it looked at, but kind of a pain in the ass. This thing's falling apart. Anyway, if you caught earlier, let me see if I can clear this out. I'm gonna clear that out too. No. Reset. There it is. All right, cool. 188,306 miles. Awesome. Also 14.2 average miles per gallon. That's actually bad. That's for me when I was hauling brush. It actually averages about 16 and a half, which is not bad. I actually get pretty good gas mileage on this thing, considering it's old, crappy four-wheel drive F-150. So the worst thing wrong with this car is not those little electronic things wrong with the brakes. I'm hoping it's maybe just an electronic issue with the emergency brake. I don't really know. I need to go take it in and look. The brakes still work. If I drive down the road and hit the brakes still work. The truck stops. There's nothing to really worry about there. Then again, I don't really drive it. I'm not gonna go drive it every day to work with it like this. But I guess the biggest problem that's wrong with this thing is the air conditioner. So this thing has dual zone climate control, a dual zone automatic climate control, and it's got two blend motors behind the dash. Two because they both died. This happened like a year and a half ago, not long after I bought this house, or actually right before I bought this house. They died, and it was summertime. I do remember it was summer 2 years ago. It died in the summer. It sucked. So I'm driving it around 100 and something degrees here in Texas, and I don't have air conditioning. It does blow air, but it blows only hot air. The next thing that happened to it was not long after that, the actual fan speed motor stopped working. But the fan speed motor, luckily, is super easy to fix. I procrastinated and didn't fix it for a long time, but I finally did. Fan speed motor's right under there somewhere. I don't know, I can't get you. Right under the glove box right there. You just open this up, you lower it, and you can get to it, some screws under there. That was an easy fix. So that got the air blowing again, but guess what? Remember, it still only blows hot air. Damn it. I also was able to get this whole thing off and the radio off. There is a blend motor right behind the radio, literally right behind the radio, but that only controls the passenger seat, not the driver's seat. So, if you notice, these vents are closed, those are open. That's because that's where my cold air goodness comes from. Let's turn the air conditioner on and see what magically happens. All right, so it's got dual climate control here. It says 70. So right now, in theory, fan speed motor's actually working. In theory, right now it should be blowing about 70 degrees. Over here, I'm sure it is. Over here, it is definitely not. Let me open this up. Yes, it is hot. It is like scorching hot air. It's not going very fast because I have the fan speed down, but it's scorching hot air right here. So I close that and at least have these pointed towards me so I get a little bit of air. So here's the thing. You can't actually turn off these vents. If anybody out there knows anything about these F-150s and you know of a way to turn the air off from blowing just on the driver's side, then let me know. I don't think there's a way to do it. I don't think there's any way within the sync climate control system to do it, but that would actually help, aside from actually getting the whole thing fixed. The reason why I haven't gotten fixed is the dealer wants about $1,200 to fix it. Meanwhile, most dealers would only give me about $4,000 or $5,000 on trade-in for this thing. So if it's worth $5,000 and I'm going to pay $1,200 just to fix that, I mean, that's a big thing, but I mean, the car still runs. I can still drive it around and pick up stuff and go take stuff to the dump if I need to without air conditioning. So I haven't fixed it yet. I'd like to get it fixed much cheaper than that. So you might think, why is it so expensive? So I said there's a blend speed motor right behind this that controls the passenger side. The driver's side one happens to be way down here, but not just here. That would be too easy. You could just take this thing off and be right there. But no, it is way the hell down here. Like, so it's so much in this black hole underneath the dash, you can't even see. It is way under. So you notice the plastic panel's taken off. That's because I tried to fix it one day and I realized I couldn't get to it. So to fix that blend motor, the dealer suggests this entire thing has to come out of the car. Not just this, that would be too easy. The whole mother dash. The whole dash. Many places they even take the seats out so they can move the entire dashboard. There's a couple of hacks on YouTube where you could take this off and this and just basically all the plastic all around this here and possibly even the whole console, and then you can cut an air conditioning duct under there to get to it and then replace it. So it's either do complicated ductwork surgery or spend $1,200 for them to take the entire car apart. That's the dilemma I'm in. Or other option, just keep driving around with hot air. During the winter, it's actually not bad. During the spring and the fall, it's also not bad because then you turn the air conditioner off, roll the windows down, and then I'm great. But during the summer, right now, you'll notice it's 8:41 p.m. and it's 90 degrees out here. So it gets hot. It was probably up closer to 100 earlier today. So doing that without any air conditioning, driving around every day, wouldn't be cool, especially also when I have the kids. I don't have the kid seats in here, and I don't want to drive the kids around in the summertime when it's 100 degrees with no air conditioning. So what else is wrong with this thing? Well, I mentioned earlier the seats. The seats are actually in decent condition. There's a little bit of wear on them, but you know, that is more the, you know, the King Ranch saddle leather wear. You kind of want a little bit of that. It kind of just adds a little sex appeal to the car. There's maybe a little bit more right here than I would have liked, but this seat, this passenger seat isn't so bad. Driver seat's not terrible either. And the seats themselves are held up pretty good. There's no tears or anything. But here's what I hate about them. They are ridiculously uncomfortable. I mean, massively uncomfortable. So much so that I drove this car as a daily driver for about 5 years before I got that Volvo. I think after the first few months, my shoulder and my back just like massive pain. Maybe it's a King Ranch thing, maybe it's a just an all of the F-150 thing. A buddy of mine bought a 2013 King Ranch F-150, brand new. Because I thought maybe these were just old and worn and there was no support anymore. I mean, the lumbar works, the inflatable lumbar works just fine. It's just, they're just not comfortable. It hurts my back literally to sit in it. I sat in his truck and instantly, brand new truck, instantly I felt the exact same thing because it's the same seats. It was just a 4-year newer model. So it's not broken. It just sucks. Like it literally hurts my back and my shoulder and my arm driving this thing. I can't really explain why. If you call me a wuss for it, that's fine. But very, very uncomfortable seat. So the next thing that's wrong with this car, I'll get out. So these are the tires. You know, I really like these tires. I got them whenever I was working down in South Texas, and I had to drive down some of those oil field roads, and I needed some sort of off-road tires. The ones that came on it were some Goodyear tires, and they were already pretty worn, and then I got a hole in one, needed to be replaced, so I'm just gonna get new tires. So that was when I only had like right around 100,000 miles. I don't remember exactly, but it might have been somewhere between 100 to 110,000 miles. It's now got 188, and I haven't changed the tires again. They need new tires. There's might be, you know, a little bit of tread left. These are the rear tires, but I had just had them rotated not that long ago. So these are actually the ones that were in the front for a long time. So these actually have more tread on them. There might be 30 seconds left on these tires in the back, maybe only about 2 in the front. They need to be changed. But that's another thing. If the car's only worth about $5,000, this set of tires when I bought them was about $1,500. These are 20-inch wheels, and these are 275, 65, 20 tires. They were about $1,500 for the set out the door at Discount Tire when I bought them a few years ago. Again, if the truck's only worth $5,000, I don't know if I want to drop another $1,500 replacing them. I have thought about getting maybe some BF Goodrich rugged terrain. They're about half the price, so I might end up doing that anyway, just to get it to where it's a little more drivable. And if I go to sell it one day, it'll be a lot easier to sell if I have brand new tires on it than when I have tires that clearly need to be replaced. So next thing I'm going to show you is this. Yeah, exactly. There it goes. Well, it takes a while to get that down. Then this guy right here. Hold on. Two-hand job. That works, but it's not great. The little ball thing here broke off. So, not anything I'm going to fix. Not a big pain in the butt. But the latch, this thing, that thing sucks. I had a bad hitch pin back here, but I just switched that out, so that works now. Nothing wrong with that. That all works. So I've had this truck now again for about 7 years. I've driven it about 110,000 miles. It's never really been in a wreck or had any major mechanical issues. It's just had these little knick-knack issues that I've got now. But a few years ago, really only about 2 years after I bought this truck, I didn't get in a wreck, but I had a kamikaze deer run out in front of me one day, and it ripped off the front bumper. So I had to replace the front bumper, this headlight, this little panel down here, and the grill, or part of the grill. I think it was just this piece had to be replaced. And so I didn't want this to happen again. So I had them install this ranch hand bumper, and it hasn't happened again. But that leads me to my next thing that's a pain in the ass. Ever since I got that bumper put in, this thing keeps happening. Right under here, there's a flap you can barely see. It's just a mud flap that is supposed to connect to the front of the bumper. So if you have a stock bumper, this little plastic piece hanging down connects to it. But since it's not a stock bumper, it doesn't connect to it the right way. So it keeps falling down. And it sucks. I need to just tear it off. I just haven't done it. Finally, last but not least, the one-eyed fog light. That one works great. That one, dead, as you can see. Simple fix, but annoying. And that's the point of this video. Showing you all the annoying things that are broken on the cars that I own. So, good news is, that means with the Corvette, with this thing, I've got projects, which means I can film them and upload them to the channel. But I just thought it'd be fun to show you guys the disaster of these couple of cars. Because I think when you see something like the Ford GT driving around and it's brand new and shiny, you think everything's great. No, you got a couple project cars back in the garage that do nothing but cause you problems, no matter who you are. So that's where I'm at here, guys. Anyway, I have one more task left. I forgot, I actually came out here to go pull in my recycling bin, so you can go with me to do that, but let me turn this car off first. Anyway, thanks for joining me on this adventure. Thanks for joining me today to go over the crap that's going on with that thing. And hit like, hit subscribe, and we will see ya next time.